Hey there, thrill seekers! Welcome back to Knowledge Nook Hub. Ready to lace up your boots and take a walk on the wild side? We're about to embark on a journey to some of the most breathtaking, awe-inspiring, and downright dangerous trails this planet has to offer. Today we're counting down the 20 most dangerous hikes in the world. We're talking sheer cliffs, unpredictable weather, and paths that'll test even the most seasoned adventurer. This isn't a walk in the park, folks. This is where your mettle is tested, your limits are pushed, and your survival instincts kick in. So if you're looking for a challenge, for a story to tell, for an experience that'll stay with you long after you're back home, then stick around. This is for those who crave the edge, who laugh in the face of danger, who know that the best stories are written with muddy boots and a touch of fear. Are you brave enough to join me? First up, we're headed to the Shanxi province in China, home to the legendary Mount Huashan. Now this isn't your average stroll up a mountain. This is a vertical labyrinth of rickety stairs, sheer drops, and a little something the locals call the plank walk in the clouds. Imagine this, you're clinging to a sheer cliff face, thousands of feet above the ground, harnessed to a rusty chain, shuffling across planks barely wider than your foot. Sounds like fun, right? Well, it is, if you're completely bonkers. The plank walk is optional, thank goodness, but the rest of Mount Huashan is no walk in the park either. We're talking narrow pathways carved into the rock, steep staircases that seem to ascend forever, and exposure that'll make your head spin. But hey, that's what we're here for, isn't it? The adrenaline rush, the sense of accomplishment, the bragging rights of conquering one of the world's most dangerous hikes. Just remember to pack a spare pair of trousers, for the, moments. Next up, we're swapping soaring heights for a different kind of challenge. The mind-bending labyrinth of Canyonlands National Park in Utah. This place is called the Maze for a reason, folks. It's a tangled web of slot canyons, dead ends, and sandstone mesas that'll have you scratching your head and questioning your sanity. Now, I've navigated some tricky terrain in my time, but the maze is a whole different level of disorientation. It's like someone took a jigsaw puzzle, threw it in a blender, and scattered the pieces across a desert. Getting lost here isn't just a possibility, it's practically a guarantee. And trust me, when the sun is beating down, your water supply is dwindling, and you're starting to see mirages of double-decker buses offering you tea and biscuits, things can get a bit hairy. So before you even think about tackling the maze, make sure you've got your navigation skills down pat. We're talking map, compass, GPS, the works, and pack extra water, more than you think you'll need, because trust me, in this heat, dehydration is a bigger threat than any minotaur. Now let's head south, way south, to the Drakensberg Traverse in South Africa. Now this ain't your grandma's stroll in the park, no sir. This is a beast of a hike, a real test of your mettle. Picture this. Rugged peaks piercing the sky, valleys echoing with the calls of unseen creatures, and weather that'll change faster than you can say, "Where's my compass?" This is the wild side of South Africa, and it demands respect. You'll be navigating steep ascents, scrambling over rocky outcrops, and fording fast-flowing rivers. It's a true wilderness experience, and that means being prepared for anything. Pack your waterproofs, your grit, and maybe an extra pair of socks. Trust me, you'll need them. This is a place where you'll feel truly alive, dwarfed by the sheer scale of nature. It's a place where you'll need every ounce of your strength, your cunning, and maybe a bit of luck to make it through. But hey, that's what we live for, right? Aloha! We're in Hawaii, home to sun, surf, and the breathtaking Kalalau Trail. Now before you picture yourself sipping cocktails on the beach, this trail's got a little surprise for you. It's a real looker, no doubt, but it's also got a bit of a bite. Imagine this. Lush green cliffs plunging into the turquoise ocean, waterfalls cascading down moss-covered rock faces, and views that'll make your jaw drop. Sounds like paradise, right? Well, almost. See, the Kalalau Trail is notorious for its narrow paths, often just inches from sheer drops. One wrong step, one slip on the muddy trail, and it's a long way down. That's why this hike needs your full attention. Stay focused, watch your footing, and remember, it's not a race. Take your time, appreciate the beauty, and keep a firm grip on those hiking poles. And just when you think it can't get any more challenging, the rain hits. Suddenly, that idyllic path turns into a slippery, treacherous mudslide. This, my friends, is where the adventure truly begins. Hold on to your kilts, lads and lassies, we're heading to the Scottish Highlands to tackle the legendary Aonic Egic Ridge. Now, Scotland's known for its rugged beauty, its whiskey, and its weather that'll make you wish you'd packed a second pair of gloves. But this hike, it's in a league of its own. Picture a knife-edge ridge slicing through the clouds with sheer drops on either side that'll make your head spin. This is not a hike for the faint of heart, my friends. This is a test of nerve, a dance with gravity, a true adventure for those who crave the edge. The wind howls like a banshee, trying to rip you from the ridge, while the rocks beneath your feet seem to crumble with every step. But the views, oh those views, they're nothing short of spectacular. Jagged peaks pierce the sky, while below, valleys carpeted in emerald green stretch as far as the eye can see. But don't let the beauty distract you, because one wrong move, one misplaced foot, and it's a long, long way down. This is a hike that demands your full attention, your respect, and maybe a wee dram of whiskey at the end to celebrate your survival. Right then, mates, we're in Zion National Park, Utah, staring down the barrel of Angel's Landing. They don't call it that for nothing. This ain't your Nan's Sunday stroll, this is the real deal. The final ascent is a heart-stopper. A narrow ridge, sheer drops on either side, and chains bolted into the rock face. You'll be clinging on for dear life, trust me. But hey, that's what we live for, right? The adrenaline, the raw power of nature, the feeling that one wrong step and it's a one-way ticket to the bottom. Now, I've climbed my fair share of mountains, but even I get a bit of jelly leg on this one. The exposure is intense. But listen, if you got a good head for heights and a strong stomach, this hike is an absolute must. The views from the top, breathtaking, literally. You'll be gasping for air, but also from the sheer beauty of it all. Just remember, safety first. No messing about on those chains. One slip and you'll be saying hello to the angels a lot sooner than you planned. Stay focused, stay calm, and you'll conquer Angel's Landing. We've traded the canyons of Utah for the cloud forests of Peru. Today's challenge, Huayna Picchu, the iconic peak overlooking Machu Picchu. This is Inca engineering at its finest, with steps carved directly into the mountainside. The view from the top, worth every bead of sweat. It's like looking out over the edge of the world. But watch your footing, and you'll conquer this Inca giant. Right, lads and lasses, we're in Spain, about to tackle El Caminito del Rey, the King's Little Pathway, known as the most dangerous walkway in the world. Imagine a crumbling path clinging to a sheer cliff face. Thankfully, they've done a bit of sprucing up. New pathways, safety harnesses, the whole shebang. But it's still a heart-pumping adventure. And the views? Spectacular. The King's Little Pathway demands respect. Right, we're in Yosemite National Park, staring up at Half Dome. This granite giant is an icon, and for good reason. It's not just the sheer size of it, though that'll make your neck hurt just looking up. It's the final push to the summit. You see those cables? They look like something out of a cheesy action film, don't they? Those are your lifeline for the last 400 feet. You'll be hauling yourself up a near vertical rock face, hundreds of feet in the air. Not a good place to discover your fear of heights. Trust me, I've dangled from worse. The key here is all in the gloves. You need a good grip, and you need to trust that grip with your life. Don't rush it. One hand over the other, and for heaven's sake, enjoy the view. You'll have earned it. And if you happen to drop your water bottle, well, let's just say we won't be sending a search party. Best bring two. Now, the Grand Canyon. This ain't your average stroll in the park, folks. It's a furnace down there, a scorching furnace of rock and sun. The Bright Angel Trail might sound friendly, but it's a deceptive beauty, this one. Descending's the easy part. Gravity's your friend, right? But that's what makes it dangerous. People get complacent, think they can push it, go further than they're ready for. Then bam, heat exhaustion hits. Not pretty. Hydration is key here, people. More than you think you need, bring double. And I don't mean sodas or sugary drinks. Water, electrolyte tabs, the works. And pace yourself. This isn't a race to the bottom. The real challenge is coming back up. Remember that furnace I mentioned? Yeah, you're climbing right back out of it. Start early, take breaks, and never, ever underestimate the power of the sun. Deep in the jungles of Papua New Guinea lies the Kokoda Track. This isn't just a hike, it's a journey through history, a living reminder of the courage and sacrifice of those who fought here in World War II. The terrain? Brutal. Mud, heat, humidity that'll leave you gasping for air, Leeches, insects, you name it, Kokoda's got it. But it's the history that really gets under your skin. Every step you take, you're walking in the footsteps of heroes. This isn't a hike for the faint-hearted. You need to be physically and mentally prepared. Respect the land, respect the history, and never forget the sacrifices made here. And if you see a ghost or two along the way, well, let's just say you wouldn't be the first. This jungle holds on to its secrets and its memories. Right then, we're heading down under to New Zealand, home of the kiwi and some of the most stunning landscapes on Earth. But don't let the beauty fool you. This place can bite. We're tackling Cascade Saddle, a hike famous for its views and its potential for danger. The trail winds its way through valleys carved by glaciers with towering peaks all around. One minute you're basking in sunshine, the next you're battling a snowstorm. Weather here, as unpredictable as a wild animal, so pack for every eventuality, you never know when you'll need to build an emergency shelter. Now, the saddle itself is a narrow ridge with steep drops on either side. It's like walking on a tightrope, but instead of a safety net, you've got a sheer drop into oblivion. So, a good head for heights is a must, along with a healthy dose of courage. This ain't a walk in the park, this is Cascade Saddle. Respect the mountain, be prepared for anything, and you might just make it out in one piece. Now let's get to it. From the southern hemisphere, we're back up north to the good old US of A. Don't let the name fool you. New York ain't all bright lights and Broadway. We're headed to the Catskill Mountains to take on the Devil's Path. They call it the Devil's Path for a reason. This trail is not for the faint of heart. We're talking steep ascents, even steeper descents, and enough rocky terrain to make your ankles scream for mercy. It's a true test of endurance, even for a seasoned adventurer like myself. The key here is pacing yourself. Don't try to be a hero and burn yourself out in the first few miles. This is a marathon, not a sprint, and you'll need every ounce of energy to make it to the end. So pack light, hydrate regularly, and don't be afraid to take a breather when you need it. The Devil's Path will still be there when you're ready. Trust me, this one's a real beast. Next up, we're venturing into the heart of the Himalayas, to the Kingdom of Bhutan. This ain't your average stroll in the park, we're talking about the Snowman Trek, one of the most challenging and awe-inspiring treks on the planet. This is high-altitude trekking at its finest, taking us over 11 passes, some soaring over 18,000 feet. The air is thin, the weather is brutal, and the terrain is unforgiving. But the rewards, oh boy, the rewards are something else. We'll be trekking through pristine valleys, past ancient monasteries, and alongside some of the most stunning mountain scenery you'll ever lay eyes on. Keep your eyes peeled for yak herders, and maybe even a glimpse of the elusive snow leopard. This is a true test of human endurance, pushing you to your absolute limits. But for those brave enough to accept the challenge, the Snowman Trek is an experience that will stay with you forever. Mount Washington, the Northeast's highest peak. They call it the home of the world's worst weather, and for good reason. This isn't a hike for amateurs, folks. We're talking hurricane-force winds, blinding snowstorms, even in the middle of summer. You'll need nerves of steel and the survival instincts of a mountain goat to make it to the top. Remember, this mountain demands respect. Check the forecast, pack layers, and be prepared to turn back if the going gets tough. We're not here to conquer nature, we're here to survive it. Now, finding water here isn't usually a problem, but with these freezing temperatures, you've got to be careful. Hypothermia can set in fast. Keep moving, stay hydrated, and for goodness sake, try and enjoy those views if you can see them through the snowdrifts. This is the kind of place that tests your mettle, pushes you to your limits. But hey, that's what we live for, right? The thrill of the challenge, the raw power of nature. Just remember, safety first. We want to come back down this mountain and in one piece. Forget your average trail, this is the Narrows. We're talking about wading, sometimes swimming through a river carved right through sandstone cliffs. It's like something out of an Indiana Jones movie, minus the snakes, hopefully. The water here is cold, fast-moving, and often deeper than it looks. One wrong step on these slippery rocks and you could be in real trouble. Proper footwear is essential, folks. You need something with good grip that will protect your feet from those jagged rocks. Now, navigating this labyrinth of water and rock requires a keen eye and a good sense of balance. Pay close attention to the current, watch out for obstacles, and never underestimate the power of this river. Remember, this isn't just a hike, it's an adventure. Embrace the challenge, respect the environment, and you might just make it out with a story to tell. And maybe a slightly soggy sandwich. The enchantments. The name says it all, really. This place is truly magical. Jagged peaks, turquoise lakes, and enough natural beauty to make you want to yodel from the mountaintops. But don't let the scenery fool you. This hike is no walk in the park. We're talking steep ascents, rocky terrain, and enough switchbacks to make your head spin. You'll be working for every breathtaking view, trust me. But hey, that's all part of the fun, right? Pushing yourself, testing your limits, and feeling that satisfying ache in your legs at the end of the day. Now, the weather here can change in an instant. 1 minute you're basking in sunshine, the next you're caught in a hailstorm, so pack for every eventuality. Layers, waterproofs, a good hat, you know the drill. And keep an eye out for wildlife. We're talking marmots, mountain goats, maybe even the odd black bear. Remember, we're visitors in their home. Admire them from a distance, and for goodness sake, don't try and feed the marmots. They've got a strict diet of trail mix and granola bars, apparently. Alright, now we're heading out to the rugged west coast of Canada, home to the legendary West Coast Trail. This 75-kilometer beast winds along Vancouver Island's southwestern edge, and it's not for the faint of heart. From slippery mud pits to pristine beaches, it's a test of your mettle. You might bump into black bears, cougars, and even the occasional whale. This is the raw, untamed beauty of the Pacific Northwest. You'll need your wits about you. The weather can turn on a dime. It's about pushing your limits and emerging stronger. So are you ready to take on the wild side of Canada? Let's go! Alright mates, we're trekking to the lost city of the Inca's Machu Picchu. This ain't no walk in the park though. The Inca Trail is packed with steep climbs, and we're talking serious altitude here. Thin air can turn a stroll into a struggle real quick. Remember those Incas were tough cookies, carving steps into these mountains centuries ago? Those steps? They're still here. A bit worn down, mind you, which adds a layer of don't look down excitement to the whole experience. And keep an eye out for those llamas. They're not afraid to use those spitters if you get too close. Now this ain't a survival situation, but you gotta be prepared. Hydration's key at this altitude, so pack plenty of water. And layer up, this place can go from blazing sun to freezing fog faster than a startled llama. Trust me on that one. So pack your grit, your waterproof boots, and maybe a good alpaca wool sweater, because we're tackling the Inca Trail. It's a journey back in time with a healthy dose of modern-day adventure. Stay with me, we'll navigate this together. Welcome to the Alps, lads. We're talking jagged peaks, pristine glaciers, and enough fresh air to make your head spin. This is the Haute Route, one of the world's most iconic treks, and believe me, it earns that title. We're talking serious altitude, unpredictable weather, and enough switchbacks to make you dizzy. Now, navigating this terrain is no walk in the park. We'll be sharing the trail with more than a few mountain goats, and they've got the right of way. Crampons and ice axes are your best friends out here, especially when those slopes get icy, and trust me, they will. Remember, altitude sickness is no joke. Listen to your body, hydrate constantly, and take it slow. The views up here are breathtaking, literally, so pace yourself. And keep an eye out for those crevasses, they're deeper than a politician's promises. So, gear up, take a deep breath of that crisp mountain air, and let's hit the Haute Route. This is gonna be one epic adventure, full of stunning scenery and heart-pumping challenges. Stay focused, stay safe, and we'll conquer this Alpine beast together. And there you have it, folks, the 20 most dangerous hikes in the world. We've scaled treacherous peaks, navigated perilous trails, and stared down more than a few mountain goats. Remember, these hikes are no walk in the park. They demand respect, preparation, and a healthy dose of grit. But for those brave enough to answer the call of adventure, the rewards are immense. The feeling of accomplishment, the breathtaking views, the stories you'll bring back, that's what makes these treks so unforgettable. Just remember, safety always comes first. If you're planning to tackle any of these bad boys, make sure you're well prepared and stay safe out there. Pack your common sense, your sense of adventure, and maybe an extra pair of socks. You won't regret it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more epic adventures. Until next time, happy hiking.